Here's Stuart Vonnie on Fox Business News. They're pushing it as a parents' rights in education bill because of what they think the message was out of Virginia. And in fact, it is not a parents' rights in education. It is a diminishment of the rights of teachers. It is a diminishment, really, of the rights of teachers who are gay. Play this clip. Oh, and let's bring on an expert on this stuff. Where can we find somebody like, I don't know. I mean, this stuff isn't brain surgeon stuff, but let's get a brain surgeon.
The Florida Senate passed a bill restricting teachers and school districts from discussing sexuality and gender identity with children in kindergarten through third grade. Dr. Ben Carson joins me now. Doctor, straight at it. Do you think 5-year-olds should be instructed on their own sexuality in elementary schools?
Well, of course not. Their brains aren't prepared to handle those kinds of complex topics right now. Growing up, it's supposed to be a fun time, not a time when you're presented with a lot of confusing information.
Pause it. What confusing information? Does Dr. Ben Carson think there's a child out there who's 5 years old who isn't aware that they have sexual organs? Does Dr. Ben Carson think there's a 5-year-old out there who isn't aware that like babies come from like mom and dads or I should say adults having sex? Obviously you don't go into, any more than you would when you're talking about writing or reading. And we should say, there's nothing about these conversations that in any way inhibit the teaching of writing and reading, which of course you don't do it. 5-year-olds maybe just starting to get the idea of reading, just like handling books and being read to. But let's go back to the brain surgeon.
Prepared to handle those kinds of complex topics right now. Growing up, it's supposed to be a fun time, not a time when you're presented with a lot of confusing information. And, there are a lot of adults who don't even understand sexuality. So
that's true. That is very, very true. I feel like we're watching two of them right now. Maybe the reason why the adults don't understand it is because they were not taught it in schools.
A young child with something like that. And these are the kinds of things that parents are there for. They're not the kinds of things that schools are there for.
The LGBTQ community is upset about this. Does that matter at all to you?
Well, the LGBTQ, whatever, yes, they matter. Everybody matters. But that has nothing to do with whether we are confusing our young people. This is not a matter of politics. This is a matter of common sense. And what is school for? It's so that we can teach our young people how to manage in a complex world. That means they need to be good readers. They need to be able to handle mathematics. They need to understand history.
What happened to having fun? What happened? Like they don't need these complex, like the basics of human sexuality are too complex. But math and history, got to teach those 5-year-olds history. The LBQTG.
Whatever, they matter.
Whatever, they matter. Everybody matters. Everything matters. This is what's happening. And granted, they're just speaking to their own people. But the fact of the matter is that they are dominating the narrative over stuff that the vast majority of Americans have no issue with. And Democrats, the left, whatever you want to call it, should be meeting these people and within this narrative and pushing back on it and actually going further than that, going on the offense. These people want to send us back to dark ages. That's it. Getting out there and saying, you know, I don't know, whatever it is, that we're drilling as much oil as we've ever had is just, I don't know who that's supposed to appeal to. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts.